Good afternoon, friends. Back in New Orleans with our great friend, Sam McCord, outside of McCord Butchery. Had to come over and get our fill. Come see our good friend and client, Sam McCord, for some of the finest meats and cuts being served up in New Orleans. So who knows what he's about to serve us up, but we're about to find out. So Sam, you've expanded in here. There's a lot of new stuff.
We added a case, so we did a lot more prepared foods. You know, added the alcohol, which is good. Old world scale, 1950.
This guy?
It actually works. I just have to get it calibrated. Tyron Matthew autographed that for me.
Love the honey
so we
bag.
gotta have it. Dog treats. So chicken feet.
In-house? You do all these in-house too?
Everything in-house. Dehydrated. Huge collagen for your dogs, so when they're bigger, it helps their joints.
So.
The bones we roast, make bone broth, and then we dehydrate them. The beautiful thing about the femur bones is they can't splinter them, so they will eat that meat off. We leave some meat on, but they can't splinter it and then get sick.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
So, yeah. The thing we find is like with the prepared stuff, but we do it right.
Again, back to minimal ingredients, not 50 things in there that I have to read.
Exactly. We can tell you what's in there. Salmon-wise, we go wild. We don't go
Or
farm.
a king, wow.
The best
In the world.
in the world. And in fact, what's interesting about these guys is salmon have no scales. Why? Because they're at the top of the food chain in New Zealand. And the Wagyu, is what it is.
Yeah.
We sell 30 pounds of that a week.
30 pounds a week at $125 a pound.
And that was another one where my wife was like, what are you doing?
Same thing, like you can't keep it in stock, like it's still.
Can't keep it stuck.
Yeah, this is what, like a 10-pound block or 5-pound
That's
block?
about 8-ish.
Okay. Damn! Dude,
Crazy.
You've been a busy beaver, man.
The 3B is, we're gonna cook one of these.
Okay.
So it's brisket, bacon, and pork blood.
You guys getting hungry too?
We have a lot of stuff to cook.
So, love North Star Bison. Big fan, big supporter. We got a few different blends here. We got the 100% bison, the bison ground brisket, which is cool, the short rib, the bison short rib, and then the old world blend, which is 7 different organs. So
I can't wait to try that.
Pancreas, liver, heart, kidney, spleen, and thymus, I think.
Wow.
Maybe
And
one
adrenal.
Adrenal, yeah.
Yeah, adrenal.
Sam and I have talked about it on calls before. I can't tell you what I've done on every birthday. I wish I could. I can't tell you some of my worst memories, but with remarkable accuracy, I can talk about the best meals I've ever had in my life, where I was, who I was with, and what we ate.
Look at the
Why?
color of that versus
It's red.
ridiculous.
Yeah, like, so that's all the mineral, all the blood,
Oh.
the extra stuff, all the hemoglobin that's in there from the organs, right? But food, there's something about it, right? It's in us to want to share that, remember that experience, and like all of you will remember this today. I mean, you watchers, but also our team that's here with us. Like, what a pro! I would have ruined it. They're like, you just go, oh no, it's fine.
So this is the regular. That's gonna be a home run.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go for it. It's your first time. It's your first time. Try it. I'm serious.
All right, I need to start here.
Whichever one you think. I've had this so much.
Oh, God.
The short rib is really good though.
That. So, if you told somebody what that was, they wouldn't eat it.
No, exactly. One of the things that started it all with Sam and I, one of the first things that I was like, you gotta try this. He thought I was crazy. He's got way more culinary experience than I ever could hope for. And I said, I love cooking veal, rather. I love eating raw veal with roasted bone marrow. And he's like, well, I got some milk-fed veal in the fridge, and we got a lot of good bone marrow. So let's try it, let's make it together. So here we are doing it. We just roasted the bones. Veal is straight from the locker, milk-fed and raw. Again, nothing on there but salt. I'm just scooping out this marrow. You eat this, you'll be in disbelief that something could taste so good from something you thought would be quite the opposite. Eat that and tell me you don't like it. Quinn, don't think you're gonna dodge this bullet. Yep. Not today.
All right, so dry age. Let me get this started.
So 63 days?
63, so a 35-day wet.
And 28-day dry?
28-day dry.
So like, if you go to eat at a restaurant, steakhouse, shop house, whatever, like maybe you'll get 45 days?
Maybe.
Tops? Maybe.
If you're lucky.
Usually 28,
So
30-ish, but 63, Christ almighty.
we do this in-house. You can see what we call the bark, right? You're gonna have some loss. It's also gonna be 25% less liquid, so it's gonna cook 25% quicker. That's the key I tell people. When you buy dry age, don't cook it like you do a normal steak.
63 days of age.
Got some funk to it. The best for the best.
Into that, lean into that, lean
All right,
into all
so
that.
let's go. A5.
Let's not go.
Oh God.
Oh boy. Wait, first of all, look at how
Look at the knife.
Look at how soft the blade is going on. Like, I mean, it's like you could cut it with a spoon probably. Fucking hell.
It's sick, huh?
To call it beef is like almost a joke.
It's I always call it kind of
It's like fat with beef.
beef butter.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, whatever.
Yo, what's up, guys? But today we're sitting with a good friend, a client, a great chef, a small business owner in New Orleans, and in his castle, the king himself, Sam McCord. Thanks for having us today, Sam.
Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. The highlight of the month. Highlight of the year, actually. We opened up in February. I met Jake and his mother. Changed my life, honestly. I was like going down a different road. Business was great. Met Jake. He set me straight. Got on the carnivore diet. And I was like, well, how do I get to be like how you think? And he was, the thing I remember is he's like, well, you could go into it with like a weed whacker and go through the forest and it's going to grow back and you're going to fall back. Or you can go in with, a machine and, carve it out, and that's the way your life is. And it kind of struck me because I was like, why not? And then I got onto that and signed on with him, and it was like it was a rough start. I mean, it was I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was, okay, you're doing this and you're doing that, and then I grasped it, and it was like, okay, so all of a sudden I felt better, and then I was doing better. My business was doing better, and you didn't have alcohol, and you didn't have this, and you didn't have that, and then he and I had weekly meetings, which was, it was kind of like I used to store up my thoughts and, throw them at him, and he was probably horrified at most of them. But anyway, it was one of those things where you just kind of realized how much of an effect it was making on you, and you really didn't even realize that, if that makes any sense. He was buying veal liver, and we did, marrow bones, and he actually taught me a lot of things, and I was like, I thought I knew a lot of things. I'm like, don't tell him I said this, but like, I kind of learned a few things from him, but it was all good. And then we started talking about like the advantage of what you could do what you put in your body. Right. It doesn't matter what, you could exercise 7 days a week, right, but what you put into your body is really what it's about. And that's where we, came to it was a strange thing, but it felt right. At the end of the day, it was always the right answer to feel great about waking up the next day. Otherwise, you'd have regret, depression, this and that. And it was like, it was a thing to where it was right. I think they're afraid of it. I think they're afraid that you can't step out of your boundaries, because for what we were taught, for years was do this, this, and this. And then you're stepping outside your boundaries, and then all of a sudden you realize that, well, I'm stepping outside my boundaries, but it feels right, and I feel better. My health is better, my labs are better, all these things. So it's kind of like, I hate the expression, but it's proof in the pudding, but it's what it was, So, and every day I wake up and I'm like, what can I do to make sure that I stay on line with what Jake is doing, or what he's telling me to do? And I'm not saying that I don't do anything without Jake's approval, because I do. But I think it's one of those things where you just kind of look at it and you go, okay, this is how I did it. This is how I feel. So your body is talking to you. And when you do that, it's, you don't need much more than that.
Well, I just give it back. Honestly, to me, it's more of a reflection. So like you say that it was me coming in here, like, well, what if it was me coming to you as opposed to the opposite, or like, what if it was the way that I saw it? I was like, man, this guy I'm just locked onto. I can't help it, but I want to know him. I can't help it, but want to get into that mind. I see something there. I see a brilliance of light that is dying to get out of there. And it's like, man, I want to see that because I'm selfish. I want to see that because I'm interested. I want to see that because I'm curious. I hear his story. I read about the restaurants he cooked in, where he lived in New York, the chefs he worked for at the 2 and 3 Michelin star restaurants in Paris and Spain also, right? So that's cool to me. I want to see that person operating at top notch, So I don't think it's really about me. I think it's all of us reflecting back upon each other, right? Because the world is not as we perceive it. The world is as we are.
Right.
So if you saw something in me, it's because I saw it in you. Or maybe that was me just mirroring whatever you saw back on yourself that's in you, that maybe was foggy, that maybe had a lot going on because you just opened a business and was in its first year, that's got 2 kids, one of which is a doctor of being in medical school, the other's an accountant.
Right.
You got all these people working here with you. You've been married for 20 some odd. How many years did you celebrate anniversary for? Anniversary was how many years?
26.
26, yeah. Like, there's a lot going on,
right,
man. And I'm like, I admire that. I respect that. I see that. And it's like, I want to see that greedily at its best, too. So I'm like, all right, the guy's sitting behind a counter serving medicine. Like, you to me are a modern day pharmacist. You to me are the doctor that I'd want to see, because this is the medicine that I want. You're serving the remedies for home health that I'm looking for, that I encourage people to find within themselves. So I'm like, why not inject this person with as much venom as I can, so that he's poisoning my community, our community, in the best way possible.
Right.
So that's what I really, to me, is all about. Like, I don't teach anything. I say I don't teach anything. It's about helping people realize what's already in them innately, instinctively, by the grace of God, as opposed to that I taught you something. No, it's uncovered. It's already in there. It's already known. You had all these parallels of knowledge and experience and work, right? Like when we were talking about macros and understanding ingredients and certain elements in food, you're like, well, how am I supposed to do this? I was like, you're a chef. Leverage what you know and have an experience and create a recipes list. Create that prefix menu. You're going to the market. You're going to put these items together. Like, use that stuff. And now, what are you doing? You're educating people. You're talking about educating customers, right? Not just providing service, providing product, but providing value. That's what's the irrefutable part. That's what's the truly priceless part. It's like anybody can sell meat, right? But who can provide value? Who can quietly or carefully educate a customer, because it's a very delicate thing, right? People don't like to be told too hard on anything. Like, I'm not coming in for a fucking English lesson, That's why I'm saying fucking, because it's not a grammar lesson, right? But if I can walk in and be like, there's 3 cuts of beef in there that I've never heard of, and you're going to tell me why you have them and how they could be more beneficial to me and for what reason. Like, long story short, which my mother just told me about not saying long story short, because there's no fucking, long stories aren't fucking short.
Right.
So why do we say long story short? Anyway, we had that conversation the other day. I admire you, man. It's right back at you. I give it to you because it's what you got in you. Otherwise, I'm not interested.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. I mean, I think the thing is, our thing is, I think people think they know what they want, but if you can educate them, take them to the next level of, this is what you think you want, but this might be better suited for you, then that might be better suited for you. And if it's not, it's not. And that's okay. You know, we have a lot of people come in and they ask me a question that I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, you know, and then I kind of backtrack a little bit and I look at it and I go, okay, well, this is maybe what you're looking for. And they're like, yeah, that's it. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, but let's ask the question. You know, I'm always open to ask the question and then we'll figure it out. Because at the end of the day, the cows don't change, the hogs don't change, the lamb, everything's the same. So we just have to figure out what you want and how you like it. And I think that's the beauty of this thing and the creativity. And that's why I opened this shop. Is like, creativity is really what it's about. You know, let's get creative. If you don't want this, we've got that. If you don't want that, we've got this. And I think that's where we had the most fun doing what we're doing. And at the same time, we can educate some people and say, hey, you might have thought this, but it's really that. And they might educate me and say, it's really that, but you offer this. And so it's a two-way street for us here. And it's been a great run. I mean, we're thrilled. I love the interaction with people. In fact, the times I don't like is when somebody comes in and says, give me 5 burgers, and they walk out the door. I love the fact somebody comes in and says, I want a rib roast, but that doesn't look like what I want. So, okay, let's figure out what you want, you know? And so that's the beauty of it, is it's day by day, give and take, you know, let's figure it out. And at the end of the day, our only goal is to make the customer happy. And I know it sounds kind of crazy, but we want you to walk out the door knowing that you got what you want.
Because when did you touched on it before about how you're feeling, how your work was changing, how your life was changing with your wife, with your kids, your relationships, interpersonal and otherwise?
My goal was to just educate people or entice them to come in and try to find something different. So if somebody comes in and they filet mignon, right? Filet mignon. Well, did you ever try Terrace Major? Did you ever try filet ribeye? Did you ever try this? And I think that's the fun part about it. But in my mind, in creativity, it was like, let's push the envelope a little bit. You know, let's reach out. And you know what? We might have 10 things and 5 of them make it, 5 of them don't. But you're never going to know until you try that. I mean, I remember the day we brought in the A5 Japanese Wagyu, and my wife looked at me and said, what, are you crazy? You know? And we sell 30 pounds a week. We brought in this bourbon, and she said, looked at the invoice, and she said, you're out of your mind. And we sold it out in 5 days. So I think what you have to do is offer that stuff out there and make it available, but also just like tell people, you might not know about this, but you might know about this, you know? And there's also, I've learned there's certain followings for certain things. Right. That some people the general public might be like, okay, I eat a filet or I eat a ribeye. But then there's 70% of the people are like, okay, well, I want Japanese, or I want this, or I want a whiskey, and so then you tap into that, you know, clientele, and you make them happy because they can get that. You know, so we've pushed the envelope a lot. You know, we've succeeded a lot. We've failed a few times. It's going to happen. But I think you just have to. I think you have to, in New Orleans, anyway, you have to offer it out there. And when you offer it out there, then, you know, it's going to either work or it's not. But generally in New Orleans, people are wanting to try different things. Yes. We try to make sure that they, you know, okay, so this Iberico pork, it's from Spain. It's acorn fed, it's this, it's that. And some guy came in and said, hey, why don't you have an Iberico pork? And I'm like, you know, I said, can I sell it for $50 a pound? I can't keep it on the shelf, you know? So I think what you have to do is just have to throw it out there. I think you have to look at it. I also look at our competitors and say, they're doing this, which is run-of-the-mill stuff. We're going to be better than that, you know? And we're going to try it. And it's a gamble. I mean, it's a, you know, it's a 2:30 in the morning, what did I just buy? But then all of a sudden we look back and we're like, oh my gosh, you know. But I think the other thing is people are always looking for something different. They want something better. Or in New Orleans, they want something that's going to be, it's this, but it's 10% better than that, or 20% better than that.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of New Orleans, because a lot of places are not like that. And I think we've tapped into that. And, you know, like I say, we've had a lot of success with it, but I think it's trial and error. Really, it is, you know. So we're all about our team. In fact, we're going tomorrow to have brunch at Tabunca's as a team building Christmas party, which is very special to me, very close to my heart. But I think if you don't have the team, then you have nothing.
Right.
And my theory is hire the right people, train them the right way, take care of them. Well, I take that back. Hire good people, take care of them, train them the right way, and keep them. And if you don't do that, then you're spinning your wheels. But we try to do that. I mean, our employees are what we have here are really the backbone of what we have. Because I can step out and go out and do something. But
we talked about this today, several times today, this morning even, about people thinking like, what do I need to do to be like y'all, right? Like, and it used to be life like Jake and it's life like us, right? Like, what do I need to do to be in that life? Like, I can't run like you do, Jake. It's like, we're not here to teach you how to work out. We can, but that's not about this. That's not what this is about. And it is life like us, but it's life like you.
Right.
It's life like all of us. But where does that start from? It's not about defining yourself with a workout plan. No, it's about defining yourself with feeling good from within first, to feel happy, healthy, and wealthy from within, and emanating that to the outer world. Well, Jake, you didn't say anything about exercise. No shit. Right? People think that that's gonna, you mentioned it earlier, people work out 7 times a day. How many people are slaving away on a treadmill thinking that's gonna take their problems away? How many celebrities do you know that have had weight problems over the years, decades worth, thinking that they've gone through Weight Watchers or this program or this exercise routine, They can't seem to keep it down. And we were talking about some of them earlier and saying, like, wouldn't it be amazing to have them as your clients? I was like, I would fucking hate to have them as my clients.
Right.
Why?
Oh, yeah. Right.
I mean, why? Because they're my fucking billboard.
Right.
You mean you coach or train him or her? Well, I don't want to fucking hire you, given the way she or he looks. Why? People think that that's where they're losing the battle, is on the field or in the pool or in the gym. It's like, no. And that's why we say, like, you can be 5 years old or 105 years old to do this program, to participate in what we're asking you to try, or what we're asking you to try not to do.
Right.
The things of which we're trying to guide you to do less of, right?
I
in
think
the sense
that's the key, is what
we know you got to
you're
eat.
trying not to do.
Right.
I mean, that's the whole thing right there for me. It's like, you know, and you taught me that. You know, it's like, don't try to do what you think you're going to do. Try to do what you don't think you want to do. I mean, that's huge.
Right.
Right?
And you're being told to consume everywhere else.
Yeah.
Go to this place, you need to eat this food, you need to drink this tincture. What if it was less? What if it was you trying to find your own proverbial desert within your mind, to have to go into that isolated space, to have to tap into what the greatest theologians, thought leaders, Stoics, and anyone of higher intellect throughout human history have used to tap into that higher state of consciousness? Prolonged fasting, extended treks, and isolation. Right? And you talk about now having kicked coffee, which is, you know, you've been drinking coffee for quite a long time, right?
Never would have thought of that.
Never would have thought of that. And the guy's not drinking coffee anymore. It's a huge thing, something that's taken us out of the present to put us into a state of altered, stimulated consciousness.
If you told me 2 years ago that I wouldn't drink coffee, I would have been like, you're fucking crazy. Right?
And that alone, right? Like that.
That's just one thing of many, right?
Like, God, why do y'all put yourselves through that? Why would you not want to do this? Why would you run yourself rampant? It's like, we're not running ourselves rampant. You're doing the opposite.
Well,
why are you doing that so crazily? It's not. It's that you're in such a fucking deficit that you don't see it.
You don't see it. That's the problem. I don't think you see it. But like you hit home with me 1 or 2 calls ago, and you're like, caffeine's a mind-altering drug. And call it what you want. That's what it is. So paint it as you like.
It is a mind-altering drug in the
but
sense
it's a mind-altering drug.
okay, well, I like it because it stimulates me. It gets me better charged for work. Okay, so what does the word stimulate mean? What does the phrase better charged for work mean? Enhanced, elevated, otherwise changed or altered. What if we feel so fucking good? I don't want to mess up this perfect homeostasis that's in here, because within you is the same thing. Everything in that body that you inhabit is a perfectly working miracle.
Right.
Everything about you, your skin is fucking waterproof.
Right.
Our eyesight is still a miracle of inexplicable evolution and science to a certain degree, where like we think this is how it works. We're amazing.
Right.
But since birth, after we've abandoned our breast milk, we've been deteriorating.
Poisoning
ourselves.
Stuff.
Because of what we were taught, what we learned, what we grew up on, what our religion said, what our families did, etc. But now, to be able to think that I feel so good that I don't want the stimulant that's going to come from coffee. I don't want the upcharge that's going to come from it, because this is so incredibly perfect. I don't want to disrupt it because, like you said, what does it do? It is a drug to take you away from what you're currently feeling in the present and give you an altered state of comfort.
Well, I think you nailed it. With me, you nailed it to where like the 30-day abstinence thing, and then you were walking down the street, I'm still in my mind. You were here, it was in the spring.
Oh, like, yeah.
I drinking coffee, and it's like, that's okay, but, I could do without it. And I was like, I don't know about that, but, and of course, the human mind is first think against that, right?
Yeah.
That's the natural thing that you do. And then I was like, I don't know. It's an interesting thought. And then I thought, why not wake up in the morning, drink some water, and go for a walk? So what's the difference? And then you come home, do I really need the coffee or not? And it's
conditioning.
It's
to break
crazy
through.
Because some people look at me and they're like, you're freaking out of your mind. And I'm like, that's fine. I don't care. But keep drinking your coffee because enjoy it. But I don't need that. I don't need that stimulation or a mind alter. I think the thing that hit home, you said, was the mind altering part of it. And that's totally what it is. It's nothing more than that. Because it's freaking coffee beans and water. But it alters your mind. So if you don't really need that, why? And I'm not saying that against because I carry coffee here. It's like, but if you don't need that, that's a win, right? Because there's nothing better than water.
It's definitely. We say this with whether it's diet, an exercise routine, a daily set of habits, all of them are Trojan horses.
Right.
Okay? Meaning there's a lot more inside that's a surprise element, that's an indirect benefit that we're going to disguise in the form of a diet, that we're going to disguise in the form of a couple of daily habits for you to check off on a checklist to be able to adhere to. Why? Because these things are empowering.
Yeah.
You don't look at them and think could a diet really be that effective? Could not drinking coffee? Do you know how much fucking willpower it takes to not drink coffee? After having drank it for 50 years?
A lot.
In New Orleans, do you know how much willpower it takes to not drink alcohol after having drank it for X amount of years? Especially in New Orleans? A lot. We know that. And that's why when you talk about the singularity and the things that you can control the most of, we talked about this during calls, what is the thing you can absolutely control the most of? Your ultimate thought process and your emotional response to any sort of given circumstances, right? Meaning how am I going to respond? How am I going to react? Because everything's objective. It's how we choose to respond to it. But if you can think about, my God, every other person around me is eating this way. Yeah. Every other person around me is thinking this way, possibly negative. Every other person around me is doing X, Y, or Z that is adverse or otherwise not contributing to progressive thought. It's like, what if I do the opposite? You don't think of it as being such a easy answer or could it be that simple? And it's like, yes, it's that simple. Right? To where yes, you want to change your business? Sam, you wanted to change your business? What was the first thing we did? Change your fucking diet.
Right.
No, Jake, I'm here to try to improve. I kind of want to improve the business. Relationship could do a little work with my wife and I could work out a little bit better, but I really want to focus on the business. Sam, tell me about your diet. Right. No, Jake, I don't think you get it. I'm trying to scale the business. No, Sam, I don't think you get it.
Right.
Tell me about your diet. Is that not where it started? With us, with your changes, with your progress.
And I got her to like, what's for dinner tonight? Steak. And before it was, I don't know, this, that, and the other. And it's like steak and some fruit. I'm good. And it's funny because she's the most stubborn person in the world, right?
26 years, you know best.
Yeah, maybe more. No, she's more stubborn than I. But anyway, but to change that, and you and I have talked a lot about that. To change that mindset.
Yeah.
If I gotta have a piece of meat, some, just saying, pasta or potatoes,
Yeah.
and a vegetable. But she's like, what's for dinner? I'm like, well, I'm gonna have chicken. She's like, I want a steak. I'm like, but 25
pounds later,
later, with not even breaking a sweat,
with no scale watching, no overt crazy exercise.
She actually has me aggravated because she has all these fucking clothes, and she's like, these are the pants that I used to fit in 5 years ago, and I'm like, and now they're like falling off her. I went into the freaking Dillard's and bought a belt because my fucking pants would. I felt like the guy that like walks in the jail cell and his pants are falling off the thing. And I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. And I texted Jake. I'm like, so do I get a credit for my Lululemon
Yeah,
pants?
I was like, no credit.
No, sorry.
Yeah, you get to hate me for having bought a new wardrobe.
But she's pulling out pants and stuff that she was going to get rid of because she couldn't fit into, that now are falling off.
So simply by following in suit with you, Jackie, just guilty by association with
And
Sam.
Gail.
And oh God, and Gail's another great one.
She's
What was-
drinking bone broth.
Gail was how long vegetarian?
20 some years.
20 something years, right? And was not necessarily feeling the best, right? Or was trying to feel
Right.
better.
Now she's drinking 4 cups of bone broth a day.
And she's tasted what other meats?
Oh, A5, chicken, this, that, and the
And
other.
she literally came up to me today. She's like, I was like, so I heard your palate's diversified a little bit. She's like, well, my skin looks great. I feel great. I mean, you said her energy's better. Her affect is better. What's,
and,
it's like-
and in my first reaction, just being cynical that I am, I'm like, well, I fucking told you so. But I'm like, but that's the wrong approach.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, that's great. Keep
Yeah.
it up. Let's try something else. And like you said,
Yeah.
like she was talking about chicken salad or something, or tuna salad, and she went and got tuna salad from
a store outside of here with a lot of
fucking
ingredients.
I couldn't pronounce some of the stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I said, and you hit me upside the head, because I was like, my first reaction would have been like, what the fuck you doing, right?
Yeah.
And you told me,
I was like-
credit you. So you're like, no, just tell her we got this.
Yeah.
And
we'll
then
make
now,
we'll make Gail's chicken salad, tuna salad.
so, but it's a powerful thing, because we are set in those fucking ways. Like, you go to a kid's birthday party
Yeah.
in New Orleans. You go to a 4-year-old birthday party, they have wine, beer, cocktails, all this shit. It's fucked up.
Yep.
But we sell alcohol, which is good, but we also sell, my goal is to have, I have a ginger beer that's non-alcoholic, which is really great. But my goal is to have 4 or 5 non-alcoholic things. So, because we get a lot of people in here and I'm like, hey, we're doing a wine tasting, and they're like, well, I don't drink. Well, then let's have something that's non-alcoholic to get them to come back. Because they're
Not
buying
feel
the
left
food.
out. Yeah.
And not to feel left out. But I think, you guys probably know this, sobriety is becoming a bigger and a bigger and a bigger thing, because people are realizing
Information's
what it does.
too easy to obtain now, right? About what ingredients are, what things are made of or not, how we feel,
Oh, it's
how we
crazy.
can quickly get biometric data on ourselves and realize what we've been doing to ourselves for the last several some odd years, and
Yeah.
be able to look up in the raft. You were talking about earlier, not drinking again, and It's like you asked me about one of those key moments, like what was a marquee moment for me to stop drinking. I was like, because someone asked me like, oh man, you can come out. I was like, I have so many world championship rings in alcoholism And I have so many jerseys in the rafters in the
Right.
Hall of Fame of drinking all over the world that I could stop drinking today and never drink again and have drank enough to have satisfied many lifetimes, right? So it's like, but where did that get me? You know, who did I meet in those places? Great friends here and there, but like, where are they now for the most part?
And did you remember that?
Yeah, or
Right.
did those world life-changing
That's the
conversations
whole
that we
thing
had
with me.
really take place? No. We change the way we view the world through sport because we find parallels. We find competitive and comparative advantages in life and in business through sport. So when we talk about with you, getting you back on the road, getting you back in CrossFit, you being proud to wear that 20-pound weight vest that says
Right.
Butcher on it, you can literally go in there and find ways to beat your competitors because of how you take care of yourself and the rigors you put yourself through out there.
Yeah.
Whether
No,
it's on the
totally.
mat, whether it's in your mind, whether it's on a fucking plate or abstaining from a bottle. It's saying other people aren't doing this because it's fucking hard.
Right.
Other people aren't doing this because it's not easy. Other people aren't doing this because they don't see the value in it that I do, that I realize is a hack to life. Sad to say, because it's the truth. Meaning, like, by foregoing alcohol, poison, by foregoing processed foods, refined sugars, and otherwise mind-altering substance, coffee, I'm enhancing my own state of being. Yeah, you are. Why?
Right.
Because this thing is perfect. I was paralyzed by headphones up until a few months ago, when I first started getting on the USA Triathlon circuit and getting into the Ironman circuit. I knew that you couldn't use headphones in the Ironman races for safety reasons, and I remember thinking, like, man, that's fucking hardcore. These people are crazy. Like, I couldn't do that. Like, I'm telling myself that, and then I'm like, all right, if I'm gonna start training for these things, I got to ditch the headphones too. And sure enough, that first week was like, woof, because when you realize, like, it's just you now in there. It's just you in
You
here
and you're
on
out
the
there.
road,
Yeah.
in the pool, on the bike, and when it comes race day, and it's 5-6+ hours of nothing but this, hey, just quit. Hey, just quit. You can just quit anytime. For 6 hours.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, hey, you don't have to do this. Just quit.
No, just
you can
quit.
Stop. For 6 hours. How long can you take it?
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, if you don't train for that, like, 100%, it's not a physical thing. Yes, it takes physicality to do it, but it's a mental obstacle. That's why people don't do it. You want to know why I think people don't compete in those races? One, because they're afraid of swimming, but two, because they can't have headphones. Because how many people
Probably.
say,
Yeah.
I can't function without my coffee. I can't function without my booze. I play better when I'm drunk. I used to say that a lot. Pool and darts, for sure. I play better when I'm drunk. I sing better when I'm drunk. Still do. I can't without blank. Coffee, person, stimulant of some kind or otherwise. I can't? No,
I won't.
I won't. I don't want to.
I remember that. You said that a lot, and I always put that in my head. I'm like, I can't? That's bullshit. I won't?
Just own
That's
it.
what
Say
it
I
is.
won't. I don't want to do it like that.
Yeah. One of the best times of my day is if I take my dog for a walk, and I just walk with him. And he doesn't talk, obviously. He might bark, but that's my
My dog talks.
kind of, and that's why with my therapist, I'm like, that's my meditation.
Yeah.
That's my
meditation.
time to think. You know, and I might be thinking about work, I might be thinking about family and about how I disappointed this person or that, but that's my time, you know, and I make it 30 minutes, you know, and it's like, I learned from running, it's like 15 minutes out, 15 minutes back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I don't know where I'm going, whatever, because it changes. And you got to change the scenery, right?
Right.
Because when you're training, it's like you train so you know where you are going to go, but also you just like 15 minutes out, 15 minutes back.
Yeah.
Whatever. But no, it's true. I mean, it's that peaceful time, and you come back, and then Jackie will say like, "Well, how was the walk?" I'm like, "I don't know about him, but it was great for me." It's like, you know, but that's the whole thing. It's like you just I don't need outside noise in that.
Right.
You know, it's so powerful. I mean, it's
Right.
but people don't realize, because
They
you see
don't.
everybody walking their dog and they have fucking headphones in, or somebody
Yeah.
walk.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's okay. That's what their thing is. In my car, I honestly do not turn on the radio.
That's good.
I just drive, and I'm thinking, you
Nice.
know, and I'm like, that's my time, and it's weird because I'm like, And then I'm like, why didn't I turn on the radio? Well, I really didn't want that distraction because I could hear a song that brought memories or, and it made me feel good. But I'm like, why don't I just drive? It's powerful.
We had this morning on the way to a race, we were singing songs or talking about songs by Madonna and Paula Abdul, right? And we were kind of singing the songs like for minutes, and then we're like, maybe we should just put one on. And that was it. And it was just like, it was cool. But yeah, and like when I finished a 70.3 in September or November, got off the run and finished, and we were talking afterwards. I was like, I just had 5 hours and 54 minutes of totally alone time in my mind. I can't tell you the last time I did that not being asleep.
Yeah, I look at he's like, I just ran a marathon. I'm like, fucking shut up. Because I run them and I'm like, and then I go, like in Chicago, I'd go to step up on the curb and I'd be like, oh, all right. Well, when somebody tells me they did a half marathon or marathon, I'm like, my respect level for them goes so far up because I'm like, that's just mental toughness. That is totally mental toughness because you have thought, your body really can't take that unless you've trained.
You've
like
wanted
a
to quit.
You've wanted to quit. You overcame what your body can do, and I've done it 3 times.
Yeah,
and
which is amazing.
But it was funny. It's funny because it was like anticlimactic, because the training was the climax.
Never gets any better.
I got the race done. I'm like, well, I already did that, but I mean, not like that.
But you remember that 22-miler that you ran when you took that day off of a vacation?
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah,
more than anything.
More than anything, and you're like, and I'm like you. It was like when you did your video for the Houston thing, or not the Houston, the
San Antonio.
San Antonio, and I'm like, you're not giving up. I've come this far.
I like to say and laugh about it, like we didn't get all dressed up for nothing.
But I did Chicago the second time. I had a friend, I think I told you a story, and we stopped in Chinatown. Chicago Marathon is amazing because you go through all the neighborhoods, right?
Cool.
So one of the end ones is the Chinatown, and it's good and bad because you smell all the Chinese food, and you're like, feel like shit, and you're like, okay, well, I didn't really.
I could kill some
Chinese
pork fried
food.
rice right now.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, I got to go to the bathroom. I'm like, okay. So he stops and goes to the bathroom. I think it was whatever. So I'm like, stand outside. I'm like, we said we're gonna run together. He comes back out, and then a mile down the road, we crossed over Dan Ryan Expressway and coming back towards the city. If you run the route before, and it's like, you're on the home stretch, right?
Yeah.
You still got 5 miles to go, but you can see the city, whatever. And he starts throwing up, and I'm just like, what's the deal? And he stopped and got a goo that he had never taken before.
Oof.
And so he was throwing up the whole way. And so we kind of, he's a good friend. So I was like, come on, dude, let's go. Let's walk for a minute.
Yeah.
Well, and we helped each other, and we cried at the end. It was a whole, how it is, the whole thing. But the point being is like, don't stray from what you're doing. Just keep going, And it was like, I kept telling him, it's like, just, you're good. Stop by the side of the road and pee over here.
Yeah.
But he stopped and got that goo, and it was like,
Doof.
It was rough, and you know how it is. I mean, you're
committed.
cooked at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing left in the tank. Top 3 things from opening the shop.
And what's transpired, and like what you can give as takeaways to people of what you've done to improve.
I think you need to trust what you believe in. Because I believed in this shop for 3 years. I spent a lot of nights waking up going, what in the heck am I doing? Is this the right thing? Should I do it? Should I not do it? It felt right. And I believe, I'm not a big spiritual guy, but I believe the man upstairs has a big piece of that. So I thought, go with what you think. The other thing is use your support group.
Yes.
And Jackie was number 1. Other people encouraged me when I tried to talk myself out of it. financially and whatever. And I think the third thing is, don't be afraid to jump off. I think you need to, jump off and trust your feelings and your intuition. And it sounds corny, but you make a list of why I should do this and why I shouldn't. And so the list of why I should do it was outweighed the why I shouldn't. But if you think negatively, it's going to happen negatively. If you think positively, I think you'll figure it out if it's realistic. And that's always the way I've been taught, felt. It's like, and there are going to be challenges down the road, right? I mean, there's going to be, you get through 1 through 5 and 6 goes haywire, and then you regroup and 7's back in line or whatever. But I just think you need to trust your intuition, and you really need to put yourself out there, I guess. And then also, you run into people like, and it's not like a huge kiss ass here, but you run into people like Jake who are like, when I met him, our business was good. And then he's like, dude, you're fucking killing it. It's about you. And I would go home and I'd be like, but people like that. I also think you need to surround yourself with people that are positive thinkers. Because if it's negative, what's going to happen? It's going to go negative, right? Positive, you got nowhere else to go. And it's tough, right? I mean, it's tough. It's financial, it's employees, it's your family, it's everything. But I think if you can just keep every day, try to get better. Every day we try to get better. We fall down, skin our knees, and then next day we'll try to get better.
Yep.
And then you're going to fall down, skin your knees twice, but you're going to get up and you're going to get better. And if you give up, everybody gives up. That's easy. I am happier than I've ever been in my life. Honestly.
It's a pretty serious answer.
Yeah. Honestly. I wake up and I can't wait to come to the shop. I wake up, I've never felt this way before. Like, can't wait to come to the shop. And it's because my wife, my family, my employees, and I don't want to disappoint them, but I also love what I do, and it's just, and then I have the support that I have. I mean, that. And it's like, and if you question yourself, you're always going to question yourself, I think, but then when you know that somebody's behind you going, get over it, keep moving on, it'll work itself out. Because there's days here where they're not great, luckily, not too many. But then I wake up, somebody will say like, oh, sales weren't what they were going to be. It's like, tomorrow's going to be a great day. And then tomorrow's a great day, or, like these next 2 weeks are going to be insane, right? And some of the staff is like, well, it's going to be crazy. How are we going to handle it? It's like, I am thrilled. I am going to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go to work, and we're going to conquer this, because it's like one of those things where if it's here, we're going to be here,
Right.
Yeah.
But if it's here, that's a problem. So it's a good problem to have, because we have the success building, so yeah, I'm in love with what I do. The support that I get, it's just, because you have to just, every day is another day.
Right.
It
Right?
sounds like a guy that's happy, healthy, and wealthy.
Yeah. And you have to use your resources, right? I mean, you really do. And you're next. Sorry. This guy, I wear this guy out. But I know that it's like, you have to have resources. You can't do it alone. It's
Yeah.
not. Because I might think something and Jake will be like, 2x4 upside the head. Like, what the fuck are you thinking about? But that's what you need. I think that's what you need, a mentor. You need somebody that's going to set you straight. You need to be like, what the hell are you thinking? And I think generally I think I'm thinking right, but also I have no problem with somebody that you respect that's going to be like, okay, wait, what are you doing?
Right.
And we've talked about with the alcohol and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, and he set me straight with that.
It weeds a lot out.
It's either the action or it's the lack, and that's it. And that's
Yeah.
what, Sam talking about his success and happiness in life, in his relationships and within his business right now. I mean, that embodies everything that we stand for between Rhonda and myself. And that's why we say life like us is what it is, and that what we exude is for you to feel and become happy, healthy, and wealthy. And Sam, a dear friend, a great friend.
Absolutely. It's
is
like
the
Christmas
embodiment of
morning
that.
for me.
It's
right
like
now.
Christmas morning for us too, man. Like every day, like the same thing you're talking
You can
about.
ask Jackie. I was like, she's like, why are you so excited? Because freaking Jared coming today.
Well, thank you for having us. Thank you for the hospitality. Thank you for the incredible
course, you're always-
meals that we had.
Absolutely.
And it's just great to know you, man. It's great to be with you and
Absolutely.
be
Thanks for your inspiration.
Be spectators in the awesome journey of show that is Sam.
But he gives me a lot of like he'll tell me it's all about what you're doing, and I'm like, think about that. And
It's all
it's
about
like,
you.
and I'm not like that. I'm not like the guys. It's like it's all about Sam. That's not. It actually makes me uncomfortable. But to have somebody with his stature to come in and have the confidence in us is freaking huge. I mean, it just I'm kind of floating a little bit. You probably see that, but
Good.
but it's powerful, and then I want to spread that to the rest of the team
That's
and
what
our
you're doing.
customers and everybody else. So,
That's what you're doing.
yeah.